Inside your engine, pistons, valves, and crankshaft move with precision. See how Loda Oils ensures smooth.
Drav's Race Driving School. Learn it fast.
Sprinkler is bringing the car to the lane.
Rick Banashek won DropBear Racing Season 27 on the Honda Civics. Back out on track comes Disco. Scott McEwen is back on circuit.
Buffhead in car number 11 is in this lap. Dravovich runs the GT Club Series.
Buffhead for occasional racing is back on circuit.
Josh in car number 69 improves to 6th in practice with a 1 minute and 50.08 seconds. Huggy improves to 10th in practice with a 1 minute and 54.839 seconds. John Barabash improves to 5th in practice with a 1 minute and 49.502 seconds. John Barabash for FarGone Racing peels off into pit lane. Orsamus improves to 8th in practice with a 1 minute and 51.713 seconds. Sprinkler is heading out again. Rick Banashek in car number 91 improves to 4th in practice with a 1 minute and 48.917 seconds.
Buffhead won Formula Fridays Season 13 in the 1990 Formula One cars. Demon Boost returns to the track for another run. Scott McEwen for Team Radical 7 returns to the track for another run. John Barabash of FarGone Racing heads back onto the circuit.
We have a pit entry for Huggy. Toby Zaire is heading out again. Dravovic in car number 03 improves to 4th in practice with a 1 minute and 48.686 seconds.
Alex McEwen won Formula Friday's Season 16 in the 2000 F1 cars. The pit lane releases Huggy back onto the circuit.
Sprinkler from Australia improves to 12th in practice with a 4 minutes and 21.275 seconds.
Buffhead won DropBear Racing Season 25 in the GT Legends cars.
Alex McEwen goes quickest in practice with a 1 minute and 47.756 seconds. Josh improves to 6th in practice with a 1 minute and 49.446 seconds. Toby Zaire for DropBear Racing improves to 13th in practice with a 14 minutes and 22.710 seconds. Dravovic in car number 03 improves to 2nd in practice with a 1 minute and 47.777 seconds. Disco improves to 8th in practice with a 1 minute and 50.104 seconds. Sprinkler for GT Club improves to 9th in practice with a 1 minute and 51.377 seconds.
Rick Banashek for RBR is off the circuit and into pit lane. Sprinkler won DropBear Racing Season 21 in the GT4 cars.
Rick Banashek is exiting the pits. Buffhead for Occasional Racing improves to 3rd in practice with a 1 minute and 48.09 seconds. John Barabash improves to 5th in practice with a 1 minute and 48.700 seconds. Alex McEwen for Project 4 goes quickest in practice with a 1 minute and 47.498 seconds. Dravovic for GT Club improves to 2nd in practice with a 1 minute and 47.584 seconds. We are with John Barabash for FarGone Racing at Borgo San Lorenzo. Disco in car number 69 improves to 8th in practice with a 1 minute and 49.751 seconds. Disco leaves the racing line and heads in. Sprinkler improves to 9th in practice with a 1 minute and 50.626 seconds. Huggy is coming into pit lane. Toby Zaire for DropBear Racing peels off into pit lane. That is Orsamus diving into the pits. Buffhead is coming into pit lane.
Buffhead won DropBear Racing Season 20 in the Formula 4 cars.
Scott McEwen improves to 9th in practice with a 1 minute and 50.466 seconds. Dravovic for GT Club improves to 2nd in practice with a 1 minute and 47.555 seconds. Into the pits comes Josh. Scott McEwen in car number 21 peels off into pit lane. Demon Boost has entered the pits. Buffhead is coming into the pits. Sprinkler improves to 7th in practice with a 1 minute and 49.355 seconds.
Buffhead won DropBear Racing Season 19 in the Super Tourer cars.
Rick Banashek improves to 4th in practice with a 1 minute and 48.105 seconds.
Buffhead won DropBear Racing Season 23 in the Touring Car Legends cars.
Sprinkler from Australia improves to 7th in practice with a 1 minute and 49.254 seconds. That is Sprinkler diving into the pits.
John Barabash, well known for last-minute strategy changes that don't work out.
practice comes to a close.
Qualifying is underway. Lap times and track position on the timing screens matter now. Buffhead is back on circuit.
Dravdravovich rolls out of the lane.
Back out on track comes Huggy for FarGone Racing.
Pit exit for John Barabash for FarGone Racing.
Back out on track comes Awesomeness. Disco is back on circuit. Back out on track comes Sprinkler. Back out on track comes Rick Banashek. The pit lane releases Josh back onto the circuit. Alex McEwen won Formula Friday Season 17 in the 2005 F1 cars. And that is the sort of context that can shape how they race tonight.
With 13 minutes remaining in qualifying, Buffhead is currently on pole with a 1 minute and 58.838 seconds. Buffhead for occasional racing lights up the timing screens and takes provisional pole. That is progress from Dravdravovich, up to second. Better lap from Demon Boost from Australia, 2 minutes and 4.777 seconds, good enough for third. That is progress from Alex McEwen from UK, up to fourth. That is progress from Huggy, up to fifth. Useful gain there from John Barabash, who goes sixth. Disco improves, but it is seventh for now. That was better from Rick Banashek for RBR, now showing an eighth.
A cleaner lap from Sprinkler from Australia, and that brings an improvement.
Josh improves the lap, but there is still more time to find. Scott McEwen improves the lap, but there is still more time to find. That is an improvement from Toby Zaire, now 12th.
Demon Boost for FarGone Racing heads back onto the circuit.
Dravdravovich runs the GT Club Series. That puts Dravdravovich in car number 03 on provisional pole, a 1 minute and 47.484 seconds. Better lap from Alex McEwen, 1 minute and 47.879 seconds, good enough for second. The clock is ticking down. Dravdravovich for GT Club remains fastest with a 1 minute and 47.484 seconds.
A cleaner lap from Rick Banashek for RBR, and that brings an improvement.
That is an improvement from Awesomeness for FarGone Racing, now fourth. Sprinkler from Australia puts in a 1 minute and 49.192 seconds and climbs to fourth. That is progress from Josh, up to fourth. That lap moves Disco up to eighth. Scott McEwen for Team Radical 7 improves, but it is 6th for now.
Josh is off the circuit and into pit lane. The pit lane releases Josh back onto the circuit.
10 minutes remain in qualifying, and nobody has beaten Dravovic yet. Sprinkler commits to pit lane.
Alex McEwen, the Nürburgring Nordschleife, is one of his favorite tracks.
William Bullock peels off into pit lane. Provisional pole changes hands. Dravovic for GT Club now leads the session. 9 minutes to go in qualifying, and Dravovic still holds provisional pole on a 1 minute and 47.095 seconds. That was better from Alex McEwen for Project 4, now showing in second. Busine is the focus now, with Rick Banaszek coming through. Rick Banaszek from Australia has chipped away at the time and moves into third. Orsamnes in car number 5 has chipped away at the time and moves into 7th. That is an improvement from Huggy, now 7th. That is progress from Disco for FarGone Racing, up to 6th.
A cleaner lap from Scott McEwen, and that brings an improvement.
With 9 minutes left in session, the benchmark is 1 minute and 47.095 seconds from Dravovic.
A cleaner lap from Toby Zayer, and that brings an improvement.
That was better from John Barabash, now showing in 5th. Demon Boost for FarGone Racing puts in a 1 minute and 49.029 seconds and climbs to 5th. Pit exit for Alex McEwen in car number 11. The timing screens show Dravovic at the top, with a 1 minute and 47.095 seconds. The pit crew will be ready for Scott McEwen for Team Radical 7.
Alex McEwen won Formula Friday's Season 16 in the 2000 F1 cars. That matters, because every result here adds to the bigger story.
Scott McEwen leaves the pit lane now. William Bullock from Australia finds more time and moves to 14th. Better lap from Rick Banaszek, 1 minute and 47.780 seconds, good enough for third. Buffhead in car number 11 improves to third with a 1 minute and 47.610 seconds. The lap time improves for Orsamnes, 11th is the result. That lap moves Disco up to 9th. The current pole time is 1 minute and 47.095 seconds, set by Dravovic for GT Club. That is progress from Demon Boost, up to 6th. Pit stop time for Orsamnes for FarGone Racing.
The pit lane releases William Bullock from Australia back onto the circuit.
Pit exit for Orsamnes for FarGone Racing. Sprinkler has chipped away at the time and moves into 5th.
Disco known for his defensive driving skills.
Dravovic for GT Club lights up the timing screens and takes provisional pole. Buffhead finds more time and moves to third. Disco improves the lap, but there is still more time to find. John Barabash for FarGone Racing has chosen to stop now. Useful gain there from Josh in car number 69, who goes 6th. Demon Boost in car number 666 improves the lap, but there is still more time to find. Alex McEwen in car number 11 lights up the timing screens and takes provisional pole. Toby Zaire has chipped away at the time and moves into 10th. Disco from Australia rolls out of the lane. William Bullock for Team Radical 88 leaves the pit lane now. With 4 minutes left in the session, the benchmark is 1 minute and 46.810 seconds from Alex McEwen. The pit crew will be ready for Sprinkler for GT Club.
A cleaner lap from Scott McEwen, and that brings an improvement.
Drav Dravovich for GT Club peels off into the pit lane. Buffhead improves, but it is third for now. Pit exit for Toby Zaire in car number 8. Sprinkler rolls out of the lane.
Drav Dravovich heads back onto the circuit.
Alex McEwen from UK rolls out of the lane. The clock is running out, and Alex McEwen for Project 4 is still on provisional pole.
That could be difficult to beat if the track does not keep improving. This is a nice camera view of Huggy making their way around.
Buffhead from Australia heads for pit lane.
Rick Banashek returns to the track for another run. Buffhead is back on circuit. Sprinkler won DropBear Racing Season 21 in the GT4 cars. That matters, because every result here adds to the bigger story.
William Bullock commits to pit lane.
Back out on track comes William Bullock in car number 5.
Huggy rolls out of the lane. This is the tense part of qualifying. Alex McEwen still holds top spot. Sprinkler in car number 69 heads for pit lane. Scott McEwen for Team Radical 7 is bringing the car to the lane. Josh finds more time and moves to 5th. That is progress from Disco up to 9th. John Barabash for FarGone Racing peels off into the pit lane. The current pole time is 1 minute and 46.810 seconds, set by Alex McEwen. Toby Zayer heads for pit lane.
Rick Banashek won DropBear Racing Season 27 in the Honda Civics.
That is an improvement from Dravovic, now second.
And that is the sort of context that can shape how they race tonight.
Pit stop time for Dravovic for GT Club. The stop is underway for Huggy for FarGone Racing. The current pole time is 1 minute and 46.810 seconds, set by Alex McEwen. The lap time improves for Disco for FarGone Racing. 8th is the result. Disco from Australia is bringing the car to the lane. Buffhead in car number 11 improves to third with a 1 minute and 47.179 seconds. The current pole time is 1 minute and 46.810 seconds, set by Alex McEwen. That is Josh diving into the pits. Tom Marzella in car number 11 peels off into the pit lane. William Bullock is on screen as they come through Rettilineo. Better lap from William Bullock for Team Radical 88. 1 minute and 48.067 seconds, good enough for 5th.
Alex McEwen won Formula Friday's Season 17 in the 2005 F1 cars. That matters, because every result here adds to the bigger story.
Alex McEwen is the driver to beat at the moment, sitting on pole with a 1 minute and 46.810 seconds. The timing screens show Alex McEwen in car number 11 at the top, with a 1 minute and 46.810 seconds. Rick Banashek leaves the racing line and heads in. The qualifying clock ticking down to go in qualifying, and Alex McEwen for Project 4 still holds provisional pole on a 1 minute and 46.810 seconds. That is exactly the kind of lap that changes the pressure in this session.
Buffhead won DropBear Racing Season 19 in the Super Tourer cars.
Alex McEwen is the driver to beat at the moment, sitting on pole with a 1 minute and 46. Qualifying is complete. Race session is active. Waiting for the start. This promises to be an interesting race.
Alex McEwen, the Nürburgring Nordschleife, is one of his favorite tracks.
3, 2, 1. Off we go.
Dravovic in car number 03 is on soft compound tyres.
Buffhead has the centre fourth now. John Barabash cannot afford a poor exit here with Disco for FarGone Racing waiting. Josh for TUF Motorsport closes up on Disco for 9th. For 6th, William Bullock is starting to ask the question of Josh. One mistake from William Bullock, and Toby Zaire in car number 8 will be there for 5th. Huggy for FarGone Racing is making their way through Scoperia now. Huggy is close enough to make this uncomfortable. Josh is not letting Disco in car number 69 breathe here. Huggy is defending 14th, and Josh in car number 69 is not going away. Dravovic for GT Club lowers the mark to 1 minute and 54.822 seconds. Dravovic crosses the line to complete lap 1 with a 1 minute and 54.822 seconds. After lap 1, Dravovic is first, Alex McEwen for Project 4 is second, Rick Banashek is third, Buffhead is fourth, Sprinkler for GT Club is fifth, Demon Boost is sixth. There's a yellow flag. Someone must have gone off the track. One mistake from Scott McEwen, and Disco will be there for 14th. The contest for 11th is starting to tighten. That gap is 2.0 seconds between John Barabash and Demon Boost from Australia.
This is where the driver ahead has to stay calm and protect the exit.
It is building nicely between Awesomeness for FarGone Racing and Josh for TUF Motorsport for 13th. Josh is looking for a gap to pass Tom Marzella from Australia. Awesomeness in car number 5 trails Huggy by 1.3 seconds. Dravovich lowers the mark to 1 minute and 47.554 seconds. Dravovich from Australia crosses the line to complete lap 2 with a 1 minute and 47.554 seconds. After lap 2, Dravovich is first, Alex McEwen for Project 4 is second, Buffhead in car number 11 is third, Rick Banashek is fourth, Sprinkler in car number 69 is fifth, Demon Boost from Australia is sixth. Tom Marzella for Tomato Support Motorsport is now in eighth. Huggy for FarGone Racing is putting pressure on Tom Marzella for Tomato Support Motorsport for eighth.
Toby Zayer in car number 8 is on M compound tyres.
Josh leads this little scrap, but Tom Marzella is keeping the pressure on.
The important part now is whether the chasing car can stay close onto the straight. Buffhead won Formula Fridays Season 13 in the 1990 Formula 1 cars.
Awesomeness is applying real pressure to Disco in the battle for 13th. Disco for FarGone Racing trails Huggy for FarGone Racing by 2.0 seconds. Dravovich from Australia crosses the line to complete lap 3 with a 1 minute and 47.645 seconds. After lap 3, Dravovich is first, Alex McEwen for Project 4 is second, Buffhead for Occasional Racing is third, Rick Banashek for RBR is fourth, Sprinkler is fifth, Demon Boost is sixth. Tom Marzella is going to need to defend against Toby Zayer for DropBear Racing for eighth. A change in the order, Toby Zayer for DropBear Racing is up to 10th. We see Disco is now in 11th position.
Demon Boost remains 1.2 seconds back from Sprinkle of the GT Club, but the pace was weaker by 0.5 seconds last time around. And that is the sort of context that can shape how they race tonight.
Demon Boost is right with Sprinkler in the fight for fifth. Toby Zayer for DropBear Racing has the scent of 9th now. Disco in car number 69 is 2.0 seconds behind Toby Zayer from Australia, but was 1.7 seconds quicker last lap. The margin from Toby Zayer for DropBear Racing to Tom Marzella is 0.8 seconds. Dravovich crosses the line to complete lap 4 with a 1 minute and 47.759 seconds. After lap 4, Dravovich is first, Alex McEwen is second, Buffhead is third, Rick Banashek from Australia is fourth, Sprinkler in car number 69 is fifth, Demon Boost in car number 666 is sixth. A sharp lap from Alex McEwen from UK. 1 minute and 47.533 seconds is now the target. It is building nicely between Scott McEwen for Team Radical 7 and William Bullock for Team Radical 88 for 15th. Tom Marzella has Toby Zaire in car number 8 all over the back of them now for 9th. William Bullock in car number 5 moves up to 14th. This is exactly the kind of pressure battle that can force an error. That pressure can force small mistakes, especially through the slower corners. Sprinkler from Australia closes up on Rick Banashek for 4th.
William Bullock is on soft compound tyres.
Disco from Australia is not letting Toby Zaire breathe here. Dravovic for GT Club crosses the line to complete lap 5 with a 1 minute and 47.566 seconds. After lap 5, Dravovic for GT Club is first, Alex McEwen is second, Buffhead is third, Rick Banashek in car number 91 is fourth, Sprinkler in car number 69 is fifth, Demon Boost is sixth. Sprinkler is putting pressure on Rick Banashek for RBR for fourth. Tom Marzella cannot afford a poor exit here with Toby Zaire from Australia waiting. Disco is right there with Toby Zaire for 10th. Sprinkler heads into a Rabiata 2, one of the key points of the lap.
That matters, because every result here adds to the bigger story.
Demon Boost from Australia trails Sprinkler in car number 69 by 2.0 seconds.
Buffhead won DropBear Racing Season 18 in the Mazda MX-5 cars.
Dravovic crosses the line to complete lap 6 with a 1 minute and 47.699 seconds. After lap 6, Dravovic in car number 03 is first, Alex McEwen is second, Buffhead is third, Rick Banashek for RBR is fourth, Sprinkler is fifth, Demon Boost is sixth.
Awesomeness is on M compound tyres.
Toby Zaire for DropBear Racing is right behind Disco for 11th.
The important part now is whether the chasing car can stay close onto the straight. Demon Boost is 2.0 seconds behind Rick Banashek from Australia, but lost 0.5 seconds on the previous lap.
That move puts Disco in car number 69 into 10th. Disco in car number 69 is putting pressure on Toby Zaire for 11th. Alex McEwen in car number 11 is not letting Dravovic breathe here. Disco in car number 69 is right there with Toby Zaire. The current fastest lap belongs to Alex McEwen in car number 11 with a 1 minute and 47.533 seconds. Dravovic crosses the line to complete lap 7 with a 1 minute and 48.263 seconds. After lap 7, Dravovic for GT Club is first, Alex McEwen for Project 4 is second, Buffhead from Australia is third, Sprinkler is fourth, Rick Banashek is fifth, Demon Boost is sixth.
Demon Boost is on soft compound tyres. Alex McEwen won Formula Friday's Season 17 in the 2005 F1 cars. And that is the sort of context that can shape how they race tonight.
One small mistake and Rick Banashek for RBR will be alongside. The gap from Demon Boost in car number 666 to Rick Banashek is 2.0 seconds, and the chaser had the better lap by 0.9 seconds. Toby Zaire is looking for a gap to pass Disco.
That gap to Toby Zaire is 1 second for Tom Marzella, but it moved the wrong way on the previous lap.
Alex McEwen from UK is applying real pressure to Dravovic for GT Club in the battle for first. This fight is starting to tighten up.
The important part now is whether the chasing car can stay close onto the straight. Tom Marzella is 1 second behind William Bullock, but lost 2.5 seconds on the previous lap.
Dravovic in car number 03 crosses the line to complete lap 8 with a 1 minute and 48.151 seconds. After lap 8, Dravovic for GT Club is first, Alex McEwen for Project 4 is second, Buffhead from Australia is third, Sprinkler is fourth, Rick Banashek for RBR is fifth, Demon Boost is sixth. This is exactly the kind of pressure battle that can force an error. Alex McEwen is not letting Dravovic breathe here. This is Rick Banashek for RBR now, working through Poggio Secco. Sprinkler from Australia has Rick Banashek in car number 91 all over the back of them now for fourth. William Bullock for Team Radical 88 continues to run in 11th. Dravovic has Alex McEwen for Project 4 0.2 seconds behind.
Buffhead won DropBear Racing Season 20 in the Formula 4 cars. And that is the sort of context that can shape how they race tonight.
We are hoping for a tight battle now between Tom Marzella for Tomato Support Motorsport and Dorsamus in car number 5 for 12th. Alex McEwen from UK is applying real pressure to Dravovic for GT Club in the battle for first. Alex McEwen crosses the line to complete lap 9 with a 1 minute and 49.324 seconds. After lap 9, Alex McEwen for Project 4 is first, Dravovic for GT Club is second, Buffhead for Occasional Racing is third, Sprinkler is fourth, Rick Banashek is fifth, Demon Boost from Australia is sixth. Buffhead is 2.0 seconds behind Dravovic for GT Club, but was 1.2 seconds quicker last lap. Rick Banashek is 0.1 seconds behind Sprinkler, but was 0.5 seconds quicker last lap. William Bullock is now in 10th. Tom Marzella continues to run in 12th. We are hoping for a tight battle now between Rick Banashek for RBR and Sprinkler for GT Club for 4th. That pressure can force small mistakes, especially through the slower corners.
Toby Zaire is on M compound tyres.
Josh is tucked up behind John Barabash for 7th. Scott McEwen in car number 21 is closing in, 1.5 seconds back from Huggy from Australia after gaining 0.7 seconds last lap. Alex McEwen in car number 11 crosses the line to complete lap 10 with a 1 minute and 47.609 seconds. After lap 10, Alex McEwen is first, Dravdravovich in car number 03 is second, Buffhead for Occasional Racing is third, Sprinkler for GT Club is fourth, Rick Banashek for RBR is fifth, Demon Boost is sixth.
Alex McEwen, the Nürburgring Nordschleife, is one of his favorite tracks.
Josh is applying real pressure to John Barabash from Australia in the battle for seventh. It is building nicely between Rick Banashek from Australia and Sprinkler for GT Club for fourth. The contest for eighth is starting to tighten. Rick Banashek from Australia is looking for a gap to pass Sprinkler. That pressure can force small mistakes, especially through the slower corners. Josh is not letting John Barabash breathe here.
Sprinkler from Australia is on soft compound tyres.
Rick Banashek for RBR is chasing Sprinkler, gap 0.5 seconds. Alex McEwen crosses the line to complete lap 11 with a 1 minute and 47.930 seconds. After lap 11, Alex McEwen in car number 11 is first, Dravdravovich is second, Buffhead for Occasional Racing is third, Sprinkler is fourth, Rick Banashek is fifth, Demon Boost for FarGone Racing is sixth. We are hoping for a tight battle now between Rick Banashek for RBR and Sprinkler for GT Club for fourth. Josh is putting pressure on John Barabash in car number 53 for seventh. John Barabash is going to try and force Josh to make an error.
Buffhead won DropBear Racing Season 23 in the Touring Car Legends cars. That matters, because every result here adds to the bigger story.
One mistake from Sprinkler, and Rick Banashek will be there for fourth. There's a gain for Orsamnis, who moves into 12th. It is getting close for 8th. John Barabash is closing on Josh for TUF Motorsport.
The important part now is whether the chasing car can stay close onto the straight.
The gap from Rick Banashek to Sprinkler is 0.5 seconds, and the chaser had the better lap by 0.4 seconds. Alex McEwen crosses the line to complete lap 12 with a 1 minute and 47.750 seconds. After lap 12, Alex McEwen is first, Dravdravovich for GT Club is second, Buffhead in car number 11 is third, Sprinkler in car number 69 is fourth, Rick Banashek in car number 91 is fifth, Demon Boost for FarGone Racing is sixth. The pace is there from Buffhead. Fastest lap, 1 minute and 47.470 seconds. Possible incident for Orsamnis at Pelagio. Josh from Australia into 7th. It is building nicely between Rick Banashek and Sprinkler for 4th. William Bullock in car number 5 is not letting Scott McEwen breathe here. William Bullock is going to need to defend against Disco for 10th. A change in the order. Tom Marzella for Tomato Support Motorsport is up to 12th. Buffhead leads this little scrap, but Dravovich is keeping the pressure on.
This is where the driver ahead has to stay calm and protect the exit.
Rick Banashek won both Formula Fridays races at Portimao in the 1991 Formula One cars. Alex McEwen for Project 4 crosses the line and finishes first. Buffhead from Australia crosses the line and finishes second. Dravovich crosses the line and finishes third. Scott McEwen crosses the line and finishes 15th. Sprinkler crosses the line and finishes 4th. Rick Banashek in car number 91 crosses the line and finishes 5th. Demon Boost from Australia crosses the line and finishes 6th. Josh crosses the line and finishes 7th. John Barabash crosses the line and finishes 8th. Possible incident for awesomeness at Pelagio. This could be a strategic stop from John Barabash. William Bullock crosses the line and finishes 9th. Disco crosses the line and finishes 10th. Toby Zayev for DropBear Racing crosses the line and finishes 11th. Possible incident for Alex McEwen at Madarassi. Tom Marzella from Australia crosses the line and finishes 12th. Race result: Alex McEwen in car number 11 finishes first, Buffhead for Occasional Racing finishes second, Dravovich for GT Club finishes third, Sprinkler in car number 69 finishes 4th, Rick Banashek finishes 5th, Demon Boost for FarGone Racing finishes 6th. That completes the race commentary.